And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene. Hey, is there a better month in sports than the month of October? We have pro football, college football, NBA starting, National Hockey League starting, of course, the World Series coming up. Great month of October, great month of sports. We have a look at the Associated Press college football poll. It's really a lot different than the one last week. Here's the poll for you. Basically, it's a brand new one. In fact, the highest turnover since 2022. We had 9 ranked teams lose, including 4 in the top 10. One of the highlights, number 2, Indiana has its highest ranking in its football history. They're number 2 in the nation. While Texas A&M at 3, that's their highest since 1995. And how about number 10, Vanderbilt? They had not been in the top 10 since 1947. How long ago was that? That's when I was born. Well, the Sooners moved up one spot to 13. This week's opponent, Ole Miss, is number 8. Take a look at this past Saturday's action. Tulsa lost on Thursday at East Carolina, 41-27. Golden Hurricane now 0-4 in the American Conference. Oklahoma, of course, a great 26-7 win over South Carolina. A&M held off Arkansas after a 2-hour rain delay, 45-41. And it was Cincinnati Bearcats all over Oklahoma State. 6 touchdowns in their first 8 offensive drives, then added a 100-yard pass interception return for a touchdown. They beat the Cowboys 49-17. Here's the Big Four schedule for this week, starting at 11 in the morning in Norman on ABC Sports National. It's number 8, Ole Miss, against number 13, Oklahoma. 11:45, SEC Network. Auburn is at Arkansas. At 2:30, Temple will be at Tulsa for homecoming for the Golden Hurricane. At 3 o'clock, ESPNU, Oklahoma State 1-6 at Texas Tech 6-1. Texas Tech favored by almost 40 points. Take a look at our guest list now for the show. We have coming up Mason Young, the Oklahoma beat writer for the Tulsa World, recapping the Sooners' big win over the Gamecocks. Bob Carpenter, sportscaster, returned to Tulsa after a 40-year career, retiring now 20-plus years as a Major League Baseball announcer. Bob has his stories of baseball and also a World Series preview for us. President and General Manager of our Tulsa Drillers, Mike Melega, wraps up our local minor league baseball season and looks ahead to the 2026 team. Michael Knight, PrepRedzone.com, a review of the Week 7 of high school football and his take on the thoughts on the 93-0 Bixby football victory. Remington Park hosts its 33rd Oklahoma Classics. We'll have a recap on that from Dale Day. And, of course, the big story, Oklahoma City Thunder starting their NBA season this week. Tuesday night game, raising their NBA banner and passing out their championship rings. Turn the page to start defense now their title in the 2025-26 season that goes 6 months, 82 games. Hosting the Houston Rockets on Tuesday, head coach Mark Daigneault's 6th season. Thunder opened the season as a heavy betting favorite, by the way, to win the championship again for the first time since the Golden State Warriors won back-to-back in 2017 and 18. OKC picked at odds of plus 220, the next closest plus 650, New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. After the home opener on the 26th, Thunder hit the road for 3 straight games. Indiana, Atlanta, and Dallas come back on October the 28th, take on Sacramento. Then home game on the 30th against Washington, and then start November hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. That's on Sunday, the 2nd of November. FC Tulsa finished its 2025 United Soccer League regular season schedule with a hard-fought 1-1 draw at El Paso Locomotive FC on Saturday night in West Texas. Trailing 1-0 after the first 90 minutes of regulation, Tulsa got the equalizer in the second minute of extra time with a goal from midfielder Stefan Lukic. The draw extended Tulsa's team record point total of 54 as the Western Conference champion returns to One Oak Field to end the regular season this Saturday night, October 25th, against the Colorado Springs Switchback FC. That's for Fan Appreciation Night this Saturday at One Oak Field. Tulsa Ice Holders opened the 25-26 season. It's 74th on the road. Last Friday night, 17th, with the 2-1 loss at Iowa. Oilers then jumped in front just 80 seconds into the game on a goal by Josh Nelson. The only goal through the first 40 minutes, with the Tulsa defense stopping 25 chances. Then on Sunday, Tulsa coach Rob Murray, in his 9th season, became the 4th coach in Eastern Central Hockey League history to win 1,000 games. Tulsa beat Iowa 5-4. Oilers opened the home season at the BLK Center this weekend. They host Tahoe on Friday at 7:05 and Sunday afternoon at 3:05. Next, OU beat writer Mason Young with Tulsa World joins us to wrap up the Sooners' big win at South Carolina.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
The Tulsa Oilers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
The Springboard Mile, a Kentucky Derby points race for 2026, is one of the nation's last major two-year-old stakes races of the year. Remington Park's top two-year-old race leads a stellar final night of stakes races as the season ends on Springboard Mile night, Saturday, December 20th. The first race is at 5 p.m. Remington Park racing action stretches to 4 nights weekly in the month of December. Normal first race is 6 p.m. except for Springboard Mile night. Visit RemingtonPark.com for all post times, group rates, and dining reservations. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
Tulsa, there is nothing better than summer vibes at the ballpark with your Tulsa Drillers, sipping on a cold beer, eating a hot dog, and having a great time with family and friends. The hope of catching a home run ball or running into everyone's favorite blue bowl, Hornsby. Cool off by grabbing an ice cream or playing in the Red Diamond splash pad. One Oak Field has something for everyone. Tickets start at only $10. Purchase now at TulsaDrillers.com. Go all in and we'll see you at the ballpark soon.
For our Big Four football recap this week, joined by Mason Young, Tulsa World sports writer and the OU beat writer. Sounds like to me, Mason, everybody was saying this was an absolute must-win for the Sooners, and they got it. Your impressions of the Sooners' victory over South Carolina?
Yeah, I think it was that, Chris, just for the very reason that South Carolina was the only unranked team left on OU's schedule, and Brent Venables has sometimes struggled with road games. He didn't have a lot of big road wins on his resume, especially not last year when they went 6-7. So to go in there and for your defense to only give up one touchdown and get 13 tackles for loss and 6 sacks, and then for your offense to finally be able to run the ball. They had 170 yards on the ground and controlled the game early, taking a 14-7 lead into halftime and just kind of sitting on cruise control for the second half. So a lot of good signs, a lot of things you wanted to see after the loss at Texas.
I'll tell you, that defense was absolutely dominating, and you were really high on a young sophomore defensive player. Wine has really made a name for himself.
Yeah, Taylor Wine's been great. He has, I think, at this point now, like 10 or 10 and a half tackles for loss on the season, and is in the top 10 in the country in that category. He was all over the field in that game on Saturday. Tackled the South Carolina quarterback Lenora Sellers short of the goal line on a fourth down scramble. Had some other plays out in space, and then South Carolina faked a punt and threw it, and he picked it off. The punter is practically like the guy threw it right at him. He knew where to be. So yeah, he's the rising star, as it were, of this defense, and it's pretty remarkable when you look at the guy was a 3-star recruit. I think he was maybe like the 50th best defensive end in his recruiting class. Virginia Tech was his only power conference offer before OU, and he kind of blew up afterward, but wanted to pick the Sooners, and it's been a good decision for him. They've developed him into a real weapon.
Looked like quarterback John Mateer returned to some form anyway. Not really huge stats, but a clean game for him.
Yeah. I thought he made better decisions. Just having looked at some of his passing charts from the Texas game, it looked like he was really trying to play a little bit of hero ball, honestly.
Yeah.
Kind of hit the deep shots, and it was the complete opposite against South Carolina. He just took what was there, took the check downs, and then did make a really nice throw on his one touchdown pass. They got Isaiah Satania isolated open on a wheel route in the fourth quarter for a touchdown to put it away. So yeah, he just looked more stable. He had a full week of practice last week after not practicing a whole lot the week of the Texas game, and so I think that did him well. And You would like to see him get a little bit more confidence with the deep ball back, but I think that will just come with time and trusting the thumb and feeling better.
And now the gauntlet begins, starting with number 7, Ole Miss, and from that point on to the end of the season, it's top 25. At the top 25, it's a meet of the SEC schedule against Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, this is you turn around and it feels like another must-win game. I mean, the way you're looking at it is you have 3 home games left and 2 road games. If you win all your home games and then maybe you don't win your 2 road games, or you at least split, even with 3 losses, and certainly with 2, you're right in the college football playoff conversation. So. The big challenge for OU this weekend is Ole Miss is going to be probably the best offense that the OU defense has gone up against. This Trinidad Chambliss kid at quarterback for Ole Miss, who is a transfer from Ferris State, Division II in Michigan. That nobody had really heard of this guy before this season, and he steps in, takes over, and is playing exceptionally well. So. That's they're gonna have to stop that offense, and it's gonna be tough because Lane Kiffin is one of the best offensive masterminds in the country, and he figured OU out in the second half last year down in Oxford after maybe not having quite the results they wanted on offense in the first half. So definitely gonna be a pivotal game. Almost wish it wasn't at 11 a.m. because it would make a great night game with just how big the magnitude of this matchup is, but it's not very often that a top 10 team comes to Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, and so this game is absolutely huge for the rest of Oklahoma's season.
And the first visit ever for Ole Miss to Norman, and that 11 a.m. kickoff on national on ABC. Mason, before we let you go, give us the letter grades for our Big 4 football teams, and starting with the Sooners, give them the letter grade.
Yeah, we'll go with B minus. I feel obviously very good about the defense and what they've accomplished this season, but I think the offense has not been as prolific as maybe you hoped it would be, and they're going to face tougher fronts moving forward against which they're going to have to try to run the ball. So room for improvement there, but the defense carrying a lot of weight. I'll just go ahead and bump it up to B plus. We'll throw it up to B plus. Everything else, though, and we talked about this the other day, Chris. Everything else is kind of just it's an F. I mean, Oklahoma State, Tulsa. Tulsa looked good early. They showed some signs. You might be able to give them an F plus or shade them towards a D just for what they've been able to accomplish with a new coaching staff this year and knocking off OSU for the first time in a long time. But obviously, OSU has not had the season at all that they wanted with Mike Gundy getting fired, and then it's the same thing at Arkansas with them axing Sam Pittman. So they are Taylor Green and that Arkansas offense are fun to watch. It's going to be interesting to see what Bobby Petrino, if he can get the full-time job or if they're going to go in a different direction. But with OSU, here's to just really hoping that they hire the best available and don't necessarily go with just the OSU guy. But that they find the next big thing in the head coaching world and go out and make that happen.
What'd you get the Razorbacks? Close game with Tennessee. They just were the unluckiest team around.
Yeah, it's still an F just because they didn't. Yeah, I mean it's Sam Pittman gone, and yes, like you mentioned, they've played some teams close, but they still just don't win. I mean, if you lose to Memphis after blowing a 2-score lead, you don't deserve any applause for that. So,
Mason Young, the OU beat writer for the Tulsa World. Mason, thanks for joining us. I always enjoy your stories and look forward to your coverage of the Ole Miss game, a big one Saturday in Norman.
Of course, thanks, Chris.
We're going to come right back with Bob Carpenter, retired Major League Baseball announcer. Some of his great stories next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century.
We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaWhalers.com. That's TulsaWhalers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaWhalers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Whalers hockey.
The Remington Park Casino is always open for jackpot gaming. The winning action never ends. Enjoy great food and drinks in the Bricktown Brewery, open daily at 11 a.m. Simulcast racing is offered every day, featuring North America's best tracks. Visit the Club Remington desk for player card membership and begin earning points and rewards. The jackpots are always flowing. The next one could be yours at Remington Park.
Well, welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene. A longtime friend and great colleague of mine, Bob Carpenter. We worked together at Channel 8 years ago. Bob now is headed to retirement. Welcome to the Retirement Club, Bob. Congratulations.
Well, Chris, it's kind of a weird feeling. I don't think it hasn't sunk in yet, because 3 weeks ago today, as we visit here on Monday, I got home from D.C., and so far, it's just been like coming home from any other season.
Right. It's
not like a continuous 12-month job, and all of a sudden you're not working anymore. Because I always come home at this time of the year, and so far it's been busy, it's been fun, and a lot of people have asked me about it. But I really don't think I'll know exactly how I feel about it until spring training starts in February, and then opening day late March. I think that's when it'll really hit me that, hey, I'm not doing a game on opening day, and that'll be the first time since 1984.
Wow. You and I worked together at KTO Channel 8 back there in 1978 to 84 with the Tulsa Roughnecks as well. You taught me a lot of soccer.
Well, I remember those soccer days, Chris, and I know that I was one of the few guys, not only in Oklahoma, but maybe in this part of the country, that knew anything about broadcasting soccer. Absolutely. I grew up playing soccer in St. Louis. And in fact, a couple of kids from my neighborhood went on to play professional in both the NASL and the MISL, the indoor league. They were so much better than me. I was the goalkeeper. I could play out in the field a little bit. You know, I had a good foot. I was no Alan Woodward, but I could play a little bit. But then when I got to UMKC up in Kansas City, I ended up living in the dorm across the street at Rockhurst College. They had a little radio station. I started DJing there. Then I went to the station manager and said, hey, what if we do some basketball games, some baseball games, and some soccer games on the air? And they said, well, nobody else is doing it. Let's do it. And that's really where I got my start. And they had a pretty good soccer team there. They were in the NAIA national tournament a couple of times. And that was basically my soccer background until 1978, when Noel Lemon and Tom Keeter and the Roughnecks showed up. And they paired you and I together on Channel 8, and they paired Bob Stevens and I together on KRMG. And I got to hand it to soccer, Chris. It opened a lot of doors for me. It got me on ESPN. It got me on USA Network, which led to some bigger and better things with each of those networks. So, when I think back on those Roughneck days, working with you, traveling around the country, we're going to the Rose Bowl, Wrigley Field, all these crazy places where we never would have gone. And we're doing soccer games in those places. Great memories of that.
Well, your baseball, a lot of it started right here in Tulsa, right? The Tulsa Drillers are a big part of your baseball history.
Well, yeah, and it was actually the Oilers who were here before the Drillers.
Right.
Because when I got out of college in 1975, my first job was doing radio news over in northeastern Arkansas. at the Arkansas State University radio station, KASU. I got a chance to come over here in 1976. None of us knew it was going to be the last year of the Oilers because the ballpark was falling apart. And A. Ray Smith would take that team to New Orleans. And I'm really glad I didn't go, Chris, because I was making $200 or more a month more selling radio advertising, doing some high school games over in Sapulpa on the weekends. He offered me $600 a month to go to New Orleans. I was making $800 a month here in Tulsa. I decided I couldn't afford to go to New Orleans. And about 4 months later, I met Debbie, who became my wife.
That's right.
And had I gone to New Orleans, Chris, I don't know what would have happened to me. I probably wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you.
But Bob, it had to be a thrill for you to go back to your old hometown team, the St. Louis Cardinals, team up with, my gosh, with Jack Buck and Harry Carey and old friend Mike Shannon.
Well, and I got to listen to Jack and Harry growing up. Mike was still playing.
Yeah.
And, Mike was on the World Series teams in 64, 67, and 68. And he was a local guy out of CBC High School, Christian Brothers College in St. Louis. To kind of grow up idolizing Jack Buck and then getting a chance to work with him in 1984 and 85, that was pretty cool. And then a little bit more when I came back to the Cardinals in 95. So, those were the formative years of my baseball obsession, as I call it. And when I was 16 years old, I got a job at the ballpark. My sister Judy went to work for the Cardinals in 1967. She would go on to work 52 years in the front office. So she and I have 94 years of Major League Baseball between us, 52 and 42.
Wow.
And we don't think there's another brother-sister combo out there that was able to do such a thing. But, I got to work at the ballpark when I was 16. I did that for 7 years, all through high school and college. And during my break, I would stand on the ramps up in the outfield and announce the game out loud to myself, pretending I was Jack Buck. And about, 13, 14 years later, had a chance to work with Jack.
Wow.
And that was a real thrill for a local kid growing up on the streets of South St. Louis.
What were your other stops in Major League Baseball before your hookup with the Washington Nationals for the past 2 decades?
Well, Texas Rangers, 86 to 89 for 4 years with Bobby Valentine. And our old OSU friend, Pete Incaviglia, was on that team. Pete came straight out of OSU to the Rangers, never played a day of minor league baseball. I worked a couple of years part-time for the Mets in 92 and 93. When Tim McCarver left on the weekends to go do his CBS games, I would work with Ralph Kiner. That was a lot of fun on Channel 9 up in New York. 94, I worked with the Minnesota Twins for 1 year in that same role. One of my partners was Tommy John.
Oh, wow.
And Tommy had never done TV before, so I got to do TV games with him. In 95, I went back to the Cardinals, pretty much there through the 2005 season, 06 to the Nationals.
Washington Nationals sure gave you a great send-off, though, Bob. It was quite a retirement party.
They did a great job, Chris. It was so respectful and kind. Everything they did. I got a jersey in my office over here that's going to get hung on the wall later today. It's got my name and number 20 on the back of it for the 20 years of Nationals baseball I did. They did some other things. A local artist did some artwork for me. They gave me a crystal microphone, which is back here somewhere. There it is, right up there.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's pretty cool that they gave me. And that baseball you see up there that says Boomer Sooner on the sweet spot, that was given to me by Jake Irvin and Cade Cavalli, 2 of our pitchers in Washington who pitched for OU. And unbeknownst to me, they signed a baseball, wrote Boomer Sooner on the sweet spot, and walked up to me in the clubhouse and gave me that baseball the day before I retired. So that was very cool. But from the players taking off their ball caps to me before first pitch on that last day of the season, that was about 10 minutes after I threw out the first pitch. Luckily, I got it home on a fly. I didn't bounce it. And that was a lot of fun. And I got to tell you, man, I was more nervous about that than anything else. You don't want to get out there in front of a ballpark full of people and make a fool out of yourself. So at least the Nationals fans know that their broadcaster can throw the ball on a fly from the pitcher's mound to home plate.
Bob Carpenter, we come right back. We'll talk Major League Baseball 2025 and look ahead to the World Series after this break.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaWhalers.com. That's TulsaWhalers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaWhalers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
So Bob Carpenter looking back on the 2025 season. Bob, how about some of our regional teams? Your thoughts on the Cardinals, the Royals, the Rangers?
Well, the Rangers and the Royals, they both looked like they were going to make the playoffs. And neither of them got it done in September. For that matter, neither did the Cardinals. All 3 of those teams, Chris, kind of had similar, what I would call mediocre seasons. I mean, the Rangers, when they pitched, and they pitched really well, and they were one of the best defensive teams in the American League, they just didn't hit. And when you have Marcus Semien and, you know, guys like that on your team, and young talent in Texas where the ball carries well, the Rangers kind of a big mystery from the season. I thought Bobby Witt was going to lead the Royals to postseason again. They faded down the stretch and just couldn't get it done despite another really, really good season from him. And then the Cardinals, Nolan Arenado had a decent season. And I think they missed the leadership of Paul Goldschmidt, but it was probably time for him to go. And he had a nice year with the Yankees. But the Cardinals couldn't get it done. You know, they had a winning record into September, and they just could not get it done down the stretch. So it's disappointing for all of those teams. I guess our other kind of regional team, the Rockies, They started in last place. They stayed in last place, and they finished in last place. Yeah. They were one of the few teams that had a worse record than we did. And I have no idea what the plan is in Colorado. That thing, I don't know if you can blow it up because there's really nothing to blow up. They just have to find a way to get better and start winning some ball games. And really, for this part of the country, Chris, a disappointing 25 season for really all 4 of those ball clubs.
Well, you know, our affiliate, of course, with the Los Angeles Dodgers for the Tulsa Drillers, our double-A farm club. And with that in mind, boy, the Dodgers are something else. Got to be obviously the big-time favorites in the World Series. And had you ever, Bob, in all your baseball, seen a performance individual like Shohei Ohtani put on in Game 4 of the National League Championship when they clinched the series, sweeping that?
You know, some are calling it, that game he had the other night, Chris, the greatest postseason performance in Major League history. You're going to laugh when I tell you this because it might bring back a memory for you. Yeah. In 1977, October, Reggie Jackson of the Yankees hit 3 home runs against the Dodgers.
Mr. October.
Yeah, Mr. October. but he didn't pitch in that game. He didn't throw 6 innings and strike out 10 guys like Shohei Ohtani did. You know what else happened on that night, Chris? And I think you'll remember this when I bring it up. On that night, the Dallas Tornado played the Tampa Bay Rowdies at Skelly Stadium in a soccer exhibition match.
Wow.
Tulsa drew over 10 to 12,000 for that game. And that game that took place on the same night that Reggie Jackson hit those 3 homers led to the Tulsa Roughnecks coming here from Honolulu and becoming the team that you and I would work for over the next 7 years. I'll never forget that here in Tulsa, on a night when there was a World Series game on TV, we drew between 10 and 15,000 people at Skelly Stadium for, of all things, an exhibition soccer game. But anyway, back to Ohtani. He's unbelievable. Nobody's doing what he's doing. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. And, Chris, if the Dodgers win the World Series, I think it'll be a great thing for baseball. No one ever said, because the Dodgers have the payroll.
Yes.
To a lot of teams and a lot of fan bases, Chris, the Dodgers are kind of what's wrong with baseball right now. They have more money than anybody else.
Yeah.
They draw over 50,000 a night to Dodger Stadium. They have the greatest player in the game in Shohei Ohtani. They have Freddie Freeman. They have Mookie Betts. They have Blake Snell, the left-handed pitcher. They've had Oral Hershiser for many years. He's a guy you root for. I don't care what the payroll is. Oral Hershiser, who's from Dallas, by the way, is the kind of guy you root for. And he's been to OKC several times to accept the Warren Spahn Award. Yeah. But the Dodgers have that high payroll, Chris, but so did the Mets. They didn't make the playoffs. Yeah. Phillies have a high payroll. They didn't get past one round of the playoffs. So you got to give credit to the Dodgers. They go out on the field and they do it. But a lot of people think if the Dodgers win the World Series again and dominate this thing again, it may lead to the owners wanting a salary cap at the end of next year when the collective bargaining agreement expires, and there might be a lockout and maybe no season or a delayed season in 2027.
Yeah, Dodgers trying to become the first back-to-back team to win the World Series in a quarter of a century. Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah,
what about this,
since the Yankees.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we're coming to the end of this season now, and how has the game changed, Bob, for you in the last 20 years you're doing the game?
Well, the pitch clock's been wonderful. Yeah. If it wasn't for the pitch clock, Chris, I probably would have retired 2 or 3 years ago. Okay. The games were so long. They were, 3 hours, 3:15 every night. I told somebody recently, if I was still doing baseball and there was no pitch clock, I might be in assisted living by now because it was just crazy. Yeah. Next year, they're going to have the ABS challenge system where if a batter doesn't like the call, he can tap on his helmet. They'll review it. If a pitcher or a catcher don't like a call, they can appeal it. That's going to come in next year. It's not unlimited challenges. It's 2 per game. But as long as you're successful, you keep those challenges, just like replay. Replay's been good for baseball, Chris. So I think all the changes that have come in under Rob Manfred, our current commissioner, they've been positive influences on the game. And I think the game is prospering now. And we still keep setting attendance records every year. I know the NFL is the monster that it is. Yeah. But to me, baseball is still America's pastime. Football's once a week for the most part. Yeah. Baseball's every day. It's comparing apples and oranges. I think there's room for both of them to be the most popular sports in America.
Why was now the right time to retire, Bob?
Well, you're older than me, and I'm 72.
True. I'm 77.
Yeah, Chris, when I hit 70 a couple of years ago, I started thinking about this, and Deb and I have been talking about it. We're about to celebrate our 46th anniversary next month. I've probably been gone for half of it. Yeah. That used to be kind of a punchline around here, but it's not funny anymore. Yeah, and I got to the point where I'm in my 70s. I'm sitting in hotel rooms all day, all night, waiting for the games to roll around so I can go to the ballpark. I don't enjoy the luxury of living where I work, because if I was living in D.C., I just do the home games like a lot of other guys do and not travel, but I can't do that. Yeah. Very happy here in Tulsa. And I think those were the things, along with Allison and Ryan, my daughter, her husband, and their 2 little boys, James and Ben, moving here last winter. Katie and her little dog Ranger, they've been here the whole time. So now we got the whole Carpenter family together, Chris. And I know in here, even though I hate giving up this job, I know in here I've made the right decision for my family, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it. And hopefully, Deb and I will be very involved in the Tulsa community, trying to do things to help out a lot of people.
We have more baseball talk coming up next with Mike Melega, the president general manager of the Tulsa Drillers. That's next.
Tulsa, there is nothing better than summer vibes at the ballpark with your Tulsa Drillers, sipping on a cold beer, eating a hot dog, and having a great time with family and friends. The hope of catching a home run ball or running into everyone's favorite blue bowl, Hornsby. Cool off by grabbing an ice cream or playing in the Red Diamond splash pad. One Oak Field has something for everyone. Tickets start at only $10. Purchase now at tulsadrillers.com. Go all in and we'll see you at the ballpark soon.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
The Remington Park Casino is always open for jackpot gaming. The winning action never ends. Enjoy great food and drinks in the Bricktown Brewery, open daily at 11 a.m. Simulcast racing is offered every day, featuring North America's best tracks. Visit the Club Remington desk for player card membership and begin earning points and rewards. The jackpots are always flowing. The next one could be yours at Remington Park.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
We're joined now on Oklahoma Sports Scene by the president general manager of the Tulsa Drillers, Mike Melega. Mike, wrapping up a big close to the 2025 season. In fact, Barry Lewis, our good friend, the Tulsa Sports World editor, said, also the longtime beat writer, said this way, is that future bright after a late season push to the playoffs, looking ahead to 2026 already.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a great finish, Chris. I mean, we struggled to start the year, but manager Eric Wedge, he and the coaching staff kept that team together as the season progressed. And we just got better and better every day. Added a couple of bodies at the trade deadline, and Earhart and Tibbs the third. Those guys were instrumental in us making that final push, clinching a playoff spot on the last day of the season. And we should be starting out with a very good team next year. So we are very optimistic for opening day.
Second half turnaround, 40-29, the best in a decade. And your thoughts on Eric Wedge's first season as manager, taking over for the Drillers here?
Yeah, it did a tremendous job. I mean, you know, Eric had been out of the game for a couple of years, and he wanted to get back in. So he was learning some of the nuances, some of the changes to professional baseball since the last time he was in. And you know, it took that first half. You know, the talent wasn't really there, but Eric got that talent up to par. I thought he did an excellent job, and I really hope that he comes back next year. You know, when we celebrated that last night of the season, that Sunday when we clinched that playoff spot, the players were very complimentary of playing for Eric and how much they learned this year. So it was a really good run for Eric this season, and hopefully he'll be back in the Drillers uniform next spring.
Well, let's look back at the 2025 season. Some of the highlights: Jackson Ferris, the LA Dodgers' top pitching prospect, winningest pitcher in the second half of the Texas League.
Yeah, Jackson, I mean, he came in here as the top pitching prospect. Very rare that you get to keep a guy like that the whole season. He had his struggles too, but as he progressed and into the second half, man, he really got it going, and he was a big part of our continuity in that second half, leading us to 40 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, 7-2 in the second half with 3.86 ERA. Outfielder Chris Newell, 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, and tied for second in the Texas League. Also a perfect 24-24 in stolen bases. He was a star for you.
Oh my gosh, he was unbelievable. I mean, he probably, if you took an MVP vote, you'd probably give it to him because that guy, talk about sticking to it. Talk about like first half versus second half. The first half, he was hitting below 200. He was struggling, striking out a ton. But he listened to the coaching staff, and he made some adjustments. And before you know it, this guy was like almost every night the last month of the season. It seemed like he was getting on base a couple of times, stealing bags. He came close to breaking the Texas League record. I think the Texas League record was 27 consecutive stolen bases in a season, and he was at 24 for 24. Overall, I think he stole 32 out of 32 in his driller's career dating back to last season. Had power, great defensive play, great arm. You know, he really did a lot. He's definitely going to be deserving of a call up to AAA to start next season.
And Taylor Young led the Texas League in stolen bases for the second straight season. He's got some speed on the base paths for sure.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he stole over 50 for us last year and led the league. And this year, I think he finished up with 43. And just an absolute spark plug. And he got his batting or his on base percentage up quite a bit here in the second half as well. And as that offense gelled, that was really the big differential, I think, for us first half, second half. Bullpen, and then the offense. We created a lot more opportunities for ourselves in the second half, Chris.
Gene Tibbs III, Barry Lewis said he had the hit of the year, and I'll never forget that 3-1 homer, 8th inning, lifted this to a 10-8 win over Arkansas and into the playoffs. What a great finish.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. So that was one of those, we talked about this on previous call, but that was one of those deals where we got him in a trade deadline deal. Dustin May went from the Dodgers to the Red Sox. Kyle Earhart and Tibbs III came over in that deal. And that Saturday night, we were hanging on for dear life. We were tied with Wichita for that last playoff spot. Wichita was on the way to victory, and we needed Tibbs III, and he hit a big 3-run go-ahead home run late in the game, and that was really the key to us getting into the playoffs.
And, of course, your job at the AA level here is to develop stars for the big league club, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you've been doing that pretty regularly. And how about some of these guys going on now to the big leagues?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You're going to see some of these guys moving up and getting up to the big leagues without question here over the next few weeks and next year or so. A couple of these guys are going to stagger step their way up to AAA. But we're going to come back with the number 1 and 2 prospect in the organization next year. They've got a little bit of a cup of coffee with us at the end of the season. We're going to have Josue DePaula and Zaire Hope. Zaire really played an integral part in our last couple of weeks of the season as well. But it's going to be exciting to see what those guys bring back to the table. But more prospects on the way from the Dodgers. There's no doubt about it.
Well, for the second straight season, we're going to be starting at home in 2026, April 2nd on a Thursday against San Antonio. Any big changes planned for One Oak Field or the team looking ahead to the new season next spring?
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to be bringing it back and having a lot of family entertainment, a lot of good fun here at the ballpark. I don't think there's anything crazy online, but we're already shifting gears towards 2026, and opening day on April 2nd is going to be a special one, and we're going to have a hell of a lineup here on opening night. So tickets will be on sale soon. We'll be talking about that with you.
Look forward to it, Mike. Again, thanks for joining us all during the baseball season. Great finish for the Drillers. Look forward to 2026, Mike. Thanks for being with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
All right, thank you, Chris, and let's go Dodgers here in the postseason.
Absolutely. Right back with more at Oklahoma Sports Scene. Take this break.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Tulsa, there is nothing better than summer vibes at the ballpark with your Tulsa Drillers, sipping on a cold beer, eating a hot dog, and having a great time with family and friends. The hope of catching a home run ball or running into everyone's favorite blue bowl, Hornsby. Cool off by grabbing an ice cream or playing in the Red Diamond Splash Pad. One Oak Field has something for everyone. Tickets start at only $10. Purchase now at TulsaDrillers.com. Go all in and we'll see you at the ballpark soon.
The Springboard Mile, a Kentucky Derby points race for 2026, is one of the nation's last major two-year-old stakes races of the year. Remington Park's top two-year-old race leads a stellar final night of stakes races as the season ends on Springboard Mile night, Saturday, December 20th. The first race is at 5 p.m. Remington Park racing action stretches to 4 nights weekly in the month of December. Normal first race is 6 p.m. except for Springboard Mile night. Visit RemingtonPark.com for all post times, group rates, and dining reservations. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
Back on the Sports Scene and back with Michael Knight, PrepRedzone.com. Coming off the fall break, big action Thursday and Friday. Michael, where were you this past week?
I was at Stillwater on Thursday night as the top-ranked Pioneers took on defending champion Choctaw, and it was a really good game. Stillwater jumping out early. They led 21-0 at halftime, and they really just capitalized on Choctaw mistakes. They drove right down the field and scored. On the next kickoff, Choctaw fumbles it back to Stillwater. The Pioneers go down and score again, and then they go into halftime leading 21-0. But tip your cap to Choctaw because they come out, they score 14 unanswered in the second half. They have a couple opportunities in the fourth quarter to tie the game up, but Stillwater's defense bowed up. Great win for the Pioneers. Choctaw now is surprising 3-4 on the season, but those losses are to some of the best teams in 6A2 as well as 6A1 and one of the best teams in Kansas. So they're going to be right back in the mix. 6A2 is going to be fun to watch in the playoffs.
Washington Marlowe had quite a battle again.
Yeah, Washington handing Marlowe their first loss. Marlowe's been so close to knocking off the Warriors this season. It just hasn't happened for them. But, both of those teams are going to be right back in the mix in Class 2A1 once the playoffs begin.
And your favorite team, Hooker, you got a 5.5-hour drive out there. You saw them win big last week. But what happened this week?
Yeah, I wasn't able to catch them this week, and they came up short. They lost in a big way to Fairview. Fairview has been a team that continues to surprise me this season. It's not really surprising that they beat Hooker, but they beat them 35-8, and that, without a doubt, is very surprising. Fairview looks like a team that's going to be very tough to beat there in that class.
Another undefeated team, Lincoln Christian, now 7-0. They rolled over Muldrow 49-3. They've outscored the district opponents so far this year 223-3. And with that in mind, all the big talk this week around the high school football world has been Bixby 92-0 over Enid. What about that?
It's a blowout. There's a lot of talk about it, and really the only thing that you can do is put in a mercy rule. If you want stuff like that to stop happening, Lauren Montgomery didn't do anything wrong. You look at the box score, their offense, I think their offense ran less than 20 plays in the first half, and they scored 71 points by halftime. So when you look at it from that perspective, there's not much you can do. I think they had 3 or 4 interception returns for touchdowns. They took a punt back for a touchdown. They had multiple drives where they scored on 1 or 2 plays. So yeah, you're going to score 70 points in a half when you have that kind of execution. The only way to change it is to put in a mercy rule. Hearing from some coaches from across the state this weekend, I don't think it's going to happen. So we're going to see more scores like this happening. It's sorry for the programs that have to be on the other end of it, but we see it all over the state. It's not just Bixby, and it's not just against the city programs. I know people talk about TPS and Oklahoma City schools and stuff like that. There's plenty of other teams that are losing in the same fashion, and nobody really talks about that. But it's happening all over the state, and it happens every season. And again, the only way to change it is to put in a mercy rule.
And you know, also for Bixby, they only had their starters in on the field for 9 plays that entire game, Michael, and there were no clock stoppages in the second half. I remember my old friend Coach Switch always said to people, "Get better." Well, what's the schedule this week? Where are you going to be?
I'm going to head out to Jones on Friday night. There not as many games on Thursday, so only one game for me this week. Jones, one of the top contenders in Class 2A1. Mentioned Washington. They're the 3-time defending champion there. And I think that the Longhorns have the best shot to knocking off the Warriors, and it hasn't been done in quite some time. but I think that Jones has a really good shot. I'm going to catch them playing Mount St. Mary on Friday. Former Sooner J.D. Runnels, the head coach at Mount St. Mary, and he has them playing some of their best football over the last several decades. So it should be a fun one in 2A1.
All right, catch you next week, Michael. We're going to go to Oklahoma City next for the Oklahoma Classics. Dale Dade, right after this break.
The Springboard Mile, a Kentucky Derby points race for 2026, is one of the nation's last major two-year-old stakes races of the year. Remington Park's top two-year-old race leads a stellar final night of stakes races as the season ends on Springboard Mile night, Saturday, December 20th. The first race is at 5 p.m. Remington Park racing action stretches to 4 nights weekly in the month of December. Normal first race is 6 p.m. except for Springboard Mile night. Visit RemingtonPark.com for all post times, group rates, and dining reservations. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
Tulsa, there is nothing better than summer vibes at the ballpark with your Tulsa Drillers, sipping on a cold beer, eating a hot dog, and having a great time with family and friends. The hope of catching a home run ball or running into everyone's favorite blue bowl, Hornsby. Cool off by grabbing an ice cream or playing in the Red Diamond Splash Pad. One Oak Field has something for everyone. Tickets start at only $10. Purchase now at TulsaDrillers.com. Go all in and we'll see you at the ballpark soon.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
The 33rd Oklahoma Classics night is now in the books, a great night of stakes racing for the top Oklahoma breds and big money events. Before the racing got underway, some nice events for the guests in attendance, including the first ever Oklahoma Classics whiskey tasting and a style contest for boots, hats, and bolos. Two-year-olds featured in the Oklahoma Classics Lassie, presented by Senior Buscador. Big effort coming off the turn, going 6 furlongs for these two-year-old fillies. As they approach the quarter pole, Cindy Loper on even terms now, with Flat Out Kelsey up front. The Linhan Longshot battling for third with Lana Lua off the turn. Cindy Loper is first to the stretch, there by a pair. Lana Lua coming on strongly to the inside. Flat Out Kelsey backing up, and Mama Sia still fighting on. Final furlong, it's Cindy Loper up by 3, drifting about, but is very clear here. And the final 16th, Cindy Loper off to a coronation to win the first stakes race of the night. Cindy Loper by 5 in the Lassie. Cindy Loper stays undefeated and was very impressive in her first race at Remington Park. Owned by Pamela Grossman of Fredericksburg, Texas, Francisco Bravo, the trainer, winning his very first Oklahoma Classics race, winning jockey Floyd Wethy, picking up his 7th victory in the Oklahoma Classics series. Cindy Loper paid $13.80 for the win. Second was Lana Lua, and third, number 6, Mama Sia, fourth, the 3 Inca Code. The top 3 finishers in the Lassie all received a free breeding season. 2 Senior Buscador in 2026, standing at Lane's End in Kentucky. To the turf we go for the Oklahoma Classics Distaff Turf. Fillies and Mares going a mile and a 16th, presented by the Chickasaw Nation. Into the second turn, up front. Miss Code West still there by almost a full length, and continuing that long rally outside wide. CW Charm looking for room inside. Talking Katie, top of the stretch, 4 wide and coming on. That is Do You Want to Dance? In the stretch, it's Miss Code West by a little more than a length. Here come challengers. Talking Katie will take a shot up within a half length. Final furlong, race on here in the Distaff Turf. Miss Code West is all out. Talking Katie to the outside. Miss Code West will hold on. Miss Code West continues to pile up the victories, and now she likes turf racing as well. For owner Jeffrey Puryear and Julie Puryear of Denton, Texas, Kevin Scholl, trainer, Floyd Wethy picking up another Oklahoma Classics win. This year, Miss Code West, her second consecutive turf win. She adds the Distaff turf to the Bob Berry Memorial win back in early September. Miss Code West first, Talkin' Katie a very game second. Maybe Dulcie was third, fourth, CW Charm. Miss Code West in the Classics Distaff turf. The richest race on Oklahoma Classics night, the Classics Cup Handicap powered by FanDuel TV. Mr. Omaha out by 5 now with a quarter mile to go in the Classics Cup. Winners Lion inheriting second to the inside of number 1 Dude. Soul Sacrifice backing up. Flat Hanby could be heard from for a minor award here as they're in the stretch of Mr. Omaha, clear by 6. Winners Lion, number 1 Dude still working hard. Flat Hanby now continues to gain 4th and trying to pick up a minor award, but Mr. Omaha showing the class, pouring it on, and Mr. Omaha will take the Oklahoma Classics Cup by nearly double digits. Mr. Omaha dominates the Classics Cup Handicap, easily winning down the stretch in the Smile on 16th race. For owner Brian Hawk of Shawnee, Oklahoma, Joe Offholder trainer, Luis Quinones the winning jockey. It was the second Classics Cup win overall in the career of Quinones, who now has 24 overall Oklahoma Classics wins. Joe Offholder had a training triple on Classics night. Brian Hawk owning 3 of those. He also bred Mr. Omaha. It was his 4th breeding win of the season. The heavy favorite, Mr. Omaha, paid $2.60 for the win in the Cup. Second was the 1, Winners Lion. Third, the 3, number 1 Dude. Fourth, the 7, Flat Hanby. It was too easy in the Classics Cup for Mr. Omaha. Oklahoma Classics night ended with a thrilling finish, the best of the evening in the OKC Turf Classic Handicap on the firm turf. A field of 8 coming off the turn with everyone having a chance. As they go to the final turn, Gospel Mark being swallowed now. Sonic Posse the first to challenge. Eakley still outside third, only linked back. Gap of 3 more, back to Country Caper and Escaping the Blues. Good swimmer, 6 at the rail. Into the stretch of the OKC Turf Classic. Here comes Eakley outside of Sonic Posse, and Eakley grabs the front. Country Caper diving inside looking for space, furlong to go. Escaping the Blues and Tap the Dot charging on. Eakley in a big fight with all the Bravo barn here. It's Eakley, Country Caper, outside Tap the Dot. Country Caper will get it done. Country Caper with a nifty move to the inside to score inside of favored Eakley, denying Eakley a third straight OKC Turf Classic. Country Caper, owned by Lori Bravo of Sulphur, Oklahoma. Francisco Bravo trains. Floyd Wethy, the winning jockey. Wethy had a big night. He picked up 3 wins on Classics evening. Bravo picked up 2 scores. Country Caper paid $13.80 for the victory. Eakley was a tough luck second, just missed, caught in the final strides. And then winning a photo for third, the 8, Tap the Dot, a previous OKC Turf Classic winner, over number 7, Escaping the Blues. The Turf Classic in a thriller at the end, wrapping up Classics night with Country Caper on top. Remington Park Live Racing picks up again Thursday through Saturday, October 23rd, 24th, and 25th. First race nightly is 6 p.m. The 2025 Breeders' Cup World Championships will be simulcast to Remington Park on Friday and Saturday, October 31 and November 1st from Del Mar. Future Stars Friday begins at 1:30 p.m. at Del Mar, and then Saturday, November 1st, the big day for the Breeders' Cup. First race from Del Mar, 12:05 p.m. First Breeders' Cup Stakes race, 2 p.m. All times are central. Remington Park Live Racing on both Breeders' Cup days, Friday, October 31st, and Saturday, November 1st, begins at 6 p.m. In Oklahoma City, at Remington Park, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sportscene.
Next week, join us here on Oklahoma Sportscene is Randy Moss, NBC Thoroughbred Racing Analyst, joins us to preview next week's Breeders' Cup. We'll have our football recap for the Big 4 teams. Michael Knight wraps up week 9 of high school football. All coming up next week, right here on Oklahoma Sportscene. Until then, as we always tell you and remind you, be a good sport.